soy Hans.
Yo soy Arquímedes.
Yo soy Raúl Torres.
Eu sou Eminota.
Yo soy Alejandro.
Eu sou Charles Darwin.
Yo soy Luis Pasteur.
Eu sou Maria Virginia.
Yo soy Leonardo da Vinci.
Eu sou Sócrates.
Yo soy Pitágoras.
Yo soy Ford, Henry Ford.
Eu sou Hipatia.
Yo soy Nikola Tesla.
Eu sou Josephine Bell.
Yo soy Steve Jobs.
Yo soy Stephen Hawking.
Yo soy Asimov.
Eu sou Ana.
Hello, Campuseros from all around the world. Thanks for joining again for another great session. And it's my pleasure to bring into the digital stage a great friend, Kirsten Sandberg. She is the editor-in-chief and director of research for the Blockchain Research Institute. And she's now speaking to us from New York City, where she also teaches. What is the name of the university again, Kirsten?
Pace University.
Great. So thanks for taking the time to speak with our audience of Campuseros from all around the world about what is in for blockchain right now. So I'm going to start with my first question. We've been seeing over the last years that blockchain went to be a hype and then was in a low. And then now it seems that every single business leader is thinking on blockchain and what every company needs to do with blockchain. So what is the status of blockchain around the world?
Mm-hmm. It's a great question, Giuliano. And first of all, thank you for including me in this great event. Can I call myself a Campus Narrows? Can I say that? Oh, excellent. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be one. I'm actually wearing flip-flops. That is a great question. I started my career just at the beginning of the internet, and there was a similar reaction to the internet. It's like, what's this? This is some kind of, geek technology. People who never leave their homes are the ones who use it. And, those of us, I was in the media industry. I started my career in television, and I was a computer graphics artist. And, people were communicating as never before, peer to peer. And as we've seen over the years, that individuals are communicating in their own ways. And it was a very powerful medium for communications. But the industry that I was in, television, I was also in publishing. I'm still in the publishing industry. We were very slow to see that that the internet was a powerful, medium for publishing, for media. And pretty soon we realized that because it's a distributed technology, the internet is decentralized, that publishing and media would be distributed rather than centralized. The New York City used to be the heart of publishing. Now publishing is everywhere. Publishing is within corporations. Most big corporations have their own pretty serious content management centers, content creation centers. So publishing is distributed. Same with television. Television is distributed. Everybody has podcasts now. That's what we're seeing with the blockchain. Blockchain is not just about information or about communications. It's about actual assets. The blockchain, Bitcoin blockchain, Satoshi Nakamoto, he solved the problem of, I'll say, copying. Internet was a big copy machine. You could copy other people's assets. You could copy, books. You could copy music. Satoshi solved that problem where one discrete digital good could not be copied, and it could be transferred from person to person. So everyone was like, it's just cryptocurrency. It's just Bitcoin. It's another one of those geek things people do in the basement. They don't want to leave their home. So they send things back and forth. That wasn't it at all. we're talking about assets, the core of our economy, and being able to transfer them peer to peer, just as we could transfer communications 25 years earlier publicly. And I think people are slowly starting to realize that, like, whoa, this isn't some fringe technology. This is about digital assets and being able to share them peer to peer, transfer them peer to peer without intermediaries. And if you think that every organization has assets, every organization manages those assets, every organization needs to figure out how to use this technology, because it's not just tangible asset, or it's not just intangible assets like copyright, like patents, like things that we've had challenge protecting with the internet. It's real objects. We can tokenize, for example, William Shatner, great Canadian actor. He tokenized all of his Star Trek props, memorabilia, and created non-fungible tokens of each piece so that he was able to trade them on a blockchain-based platform. And he also tokenized a bunch of his iconic career photographs, and he made digital trading cards out of them that are, I believe I think they sold out in like the first 9 minutes. But those are tradable now on blockchain. So to sum up my answer to your question, it's like there's a wake up. It's like, whoa, fringe, low, crypto winter. We had kind of a dip in value, and now people are really waking up to, this is serious. We can do a lot if we understand digital assets, and we understand how we can use blockchain to move them around, to share them, to govern them.
That's amazing. Kirsten, I remember a few years ago, I was walking in the streets in Toronto, and I was crossing by two people, and they were two young people, and they were talking about blockchain, and one of them asked the other, so what is this blockchain? And the other person said, oh, this is a type of digital currency. In the future, we can pay everything with your blockchain. Of course, the person was related to Bitcoin by that time, right? So that was a, like, the concept was a little bit mixed. What is blockchain? What is Bitcoin, right? And now we're seeing that the concept of blockchain has so many translations, right? Like decentralized finance, non-fungible tokens. So what else? What are the hot topics in the blockchain technology right now?
That's a great question. Yeah, I think of the space, and I think of the space in two ways. First, we have blockchain, the underlying technology. I think in terms of platform. We just published a book at the Blockchain Research Institute called Platform Revolution, where we're looking at a layer on top of the internet. So we've got a layer of value, an internet of value on top of the internet of communications. And the technology supports distributed applications. So you have a blockchain, layer one, we call it layer one blockchain, like Ethereum. You can build other applications on top of Ethereum, decentralized applications. And most cryptocurrencies are, not blockchain, but of the Ethereum type, are smart contracts. They're decentralized applications running on top of the Ethereum blockchain platform. And so I think in terms of the platform itself, and then I think of all the assets and activities that we can build on top of this platform. And you mentioned non-fungible tokens. Those are decentralized applications. More specifically, they're smart contracts. And we can move them around across the blockchain platform, the layer one platform. I think of it, it is like moving email across the internet. It's separate from the internet, but you can use the internet to move messages. In the same way, you can use blockchain as a platform to move assets around. And once you have digitized these assets, then you can start to do, if you've digitized either tangible assets or digital assets like copyright. We can use music as an example, or publishing as an example. Once we've digitized those assets, we can start to, like the Bowie bond. If you remember, David Bowie securitized future royalty revenue streams. If you digitize your copyright to music, you could potentially securitize all your future royalty revenue streams, do it on a blockchain, and cut out all the intermediaries who are taking fees from your royalty revenue stream. So I think in terms of the platform and the assets that we can build on, that we can create and manage on top of it, and then what kind of value can we create once we have those digital assets, once we've digitized our assets.
That's incredible. Which countries are leading the conversation on blockchain right now?
Well,
we've been seeing a lot of geopolitics playing on this. So, for example, China, that now they stopped the mining. So now people are mining in Texas. So how's which countries are leading the blockchain conversation right now?
That is a great question, and it's a commentary on the state of affairs. As I've said, this technology is decentralized. It's very inclusive. Anyone can participate. My hope for it is that it helps us to uphold democratic principles. And I think as governments, just like corporations, just as governments have become very aware of what it can do, they've had the opposite. I mean, authoritarian governments have had the opposite reaction. It's like, whoa, we don't want to have a distributed platform. We don't want people to do things without going through us. And I think that's been China's reaction. It was very gung-ho early on. We worked with a number of Chinese companies as members, and now China has decided that it's going to go its own path. It's going to have more state control over blockchain and more it has state control over its fiat currency. So it wants to, and it's one of the leaders in a central bank digital currency. That's a digital fiat equivalent, if you will. It's farther along introducing that. It's tested that in a number of cities. It's tested that, I believe, in a couple of countries along the Belt and Road. And it wants to have that kind of control over blockchain. And it did the same thing with the internet. So it's not a surprise. And at the same time, I'll say when I look at the user stats, China individuals are big players. They're participants in LinkedIn. The Asia and Oceania area, there are like 160 million users or people engaged in that area of the world compared to 28 million in the United States, or 26 million in Canada. I've had the numbers are quite different. So, it's too early to say how this will go. And we have a research project underway studying this particular situation, China and its use of central bank digital currency. So more to be revealed, shall we say. But I think that's what's happening in China. Other countries are, embracing it, are studying it. There's a great website. It's by the Atlantic Council. It's called CBDC Tracker. So you can look and see all of the nations whose governments are studying this, central bank digital currencies. In Asia, we've opened a blockchain research institute, in South Korea, because they have a very vibrant blockchain community. We've also established a blockchain research institute in the Middle East, in Lebanon, because the Middle East has another vibrant blockchain community. We have a blockchain research institute in Europe, it's based in Germany. Again, they're doing some really interesting things in automotive and mobility, transportation. And you know our friend Carl Amarin in Brazil. We have Blockchain Research Institute Brazil. Carl is really leading the charge there. It's, they have, each of these countries has, between 200, 300 serious blockchain startup ventures. And then, globally, the last stats that I looked on corporate adoption, non-startup but incumbent adoption, something like a third of enterprise have committed or expecting to invest $5 million in the next year on blockchain experiments, pilots, or moving things into production. So there's a lot of activity globally. And I wanted to mention one of our newest research institutes, Blockchain Research Institute Africa, and it's based in South Africa. And they're doing some amazing things in terms of blockchain for good. They're working with one startup, Demetra, and it's helping farmers manage their assets, and from everything from government service desks to supply chain provenance to getting high quality seeds and fertilizers. I guess that's a big counterfeiting business in Africa to get bum seeds, bum fertilizer. And it's really oriented around, farmers, their crops and livestock, and having less of a toll on the environment, getting the balance right between forests and farming, and using technologies to improve, not just the quality of the food, but the quality of farming lives. And that made me think of something. They're using sensor technology with that the Demetra application, and they're also using the artificial intelligence. So it's really not just blockchain technology, it's blockchain plus IoT, blockchain plus AI and machine learning. So it's it's just an exciting and creative space to be in.
Yeah, and this is actually one of the and of course we work together for the Blockchain Revolution Global Project. Which
yes,
just
you're a great collaborator.
For me,
working with you.
I learned so much in working with you and Don and Joe and all the team from BRI on that, and also the EB Awards. So the amount of cases and new innovations and things that we're seeing people are developing with the use of blockchain or with the combination of blockchain, IoT, and artificial intelligence, it's amazing. And by the way, this is going to be one of the major topics in our forthcoming event in April, right?
Yes.
The combination of those three technologies, I think it's going to be great. Let me go back to William Shatner a little bit. Maybe you should invite him to be a speaker.
Yes,
right.
Let's do that. I'm going to make a note for myself. Invite William Shatner, now astronaut William Shatner.
Yeah, the man is on fire. He went to the space with Jeff Bezos, and now he's like this whole NFTs development is just like he must be here to talk with our audience.
You're never too young. You're never too old. Well, maybe you might be too young, to play some of these online virtual games. But no, you're never too old to get involved.
And speaking about young, what would be your recommendation for someone that wants to start working in the blockchain space? What they should do first?
Wow. Well, there's a lot of, it's decentralized. You can access it now. You can create a digital wallet if you want to. You can participate. I would say there are a lot of free online courses that you can, they can dip into and get a sense of whether this technology or this opportunity is for them. Coursera has some free courses. We've done a couple of courses on Coursera as well. There are a number of free ones. edX has a number of courses. I think Block Geeks has some tutorials you can experiment with. There are plenty of places on the internet where you can experiment with the technology and you can learn more about the technology. I would say of the learning opportunities, there are several different categories. There are courses and opportunities for hardcore developers, engineers, software engineers, computer engineers. And I put those kind of coding, learning how to program in Ethereum or program for Hyperledger. Then there's this second level about developing smart contracts, developing assets. So it's really working with NFTs. It's working with other types of distributed applications. So there's a whole set of courses that deal with this layer 2 aspect of the blockchain. And, you know, something that Alex Tapscott has said, since this is assets, it's finance, it's core to every industry. So regardless of the industry you're in, blockchain will affect your industry the way that the internet affected all industries. So it could be, you know, it could be looking at the industry that most interests you and really understanding the asset. What is the asset that is of value to this industry? And how might we be able to represent that and manage that asset digitally if it's not already managed that way? And it's an opportunity to research, you know, take your questions about blockchain and research them and find out who else is doing it, because there's a lot of research on blockchain technology available. And the other thing I'd say there, you know, since we're all digital, COVID has shown us that we've been able to work with people around the world. And there are, you know, internship opportunities. There are, you know, jobs available, not just wherever, you know, the Campuseros are, but, you know, opportunities around the world. I think language skills might be the most needed, not just, you know, language skills to work with colleagues in other countries, but coding language skills. So, you know, the more languages you speak, so to speak, in code, the more opportunities there may be for you.
That's great. Kirsten, it's been such an amazing conversation to explore like what is going on in the world of blockchain, and was great, was amazing. So Campuseros around the world. This is Kirsten Sandberg. She's
thank you. And if you want to get in touch with me, you can connect with me on LinkedIn. I'd be happy to hear from you.
Perfect. So Kirsten Sandberg, she is the editor-in-chief and director of research for the Blockchain Research Institute. Thank you so much for joining us for Campus Party. See ya.
My pleasure. Ciao.